In this video, we're going to talk about training your French Bulldog with a Halti collar. So what is a Halti collar? A Halti is a brand that sells a number of head and body harnesses designed to prevent pulling in French Bulldogs and other dogs, but in this video we're talking about French Bulldogs. The most popular and common product is a head harness that has almost become synonymous with the brand name. It attaches around your dog's muzzle and the back of their head. The Halti head harness works as an aversive tool to prevent pulling. This means the action of pulling is paired with an unpleasant consequence, making the dog less likely to do it. Teaching your dog to heel is much better long-term solution to pulling and doesn't have any nasty consequences for your French Bulldog. So what exactly is a Halti? Well, a Halti is a brand, like I said, that sells a huge number of harnesses and leads for not just French Bulldogs, but other dogs. The first Halti product was the Halti head collar, created in 1979 by Dr. Roger Mugford. It was designed to help owners who are struggling with dogs who pull excessively when on walks or on their leash. So how does a Halti work? Well, the Halti head harness describes itself as giving the owner full control by gently directing and steering your French Bulldog from the front. Head collars and harnesses like the Halti are usually designed to put the most pressure on the back of the dog's neck, away from the front of their neck and on their nose. Collars like this encourage your French Bulldog to pull back against the restraint to avoid the increased pressure that pulling causes to them. This action is known as aversive. It pairs the action of pulling on the leash with an unpleasant consequence. This does mean that many French Bulldogs are less likely to pull as a result, but it can be very uncomfortable for them. Some French Bulldogs may still pull against the Halti head harness, and they will pull as soon as a different type of harness is used. So, ultimately, this product is not a replacement for a proper heel training. The main difference between this and the regular body harness is where it is used on the dog. So, are Haltis comfortable for French Bulldogs? Well, head harnesses like the Halti work by redirecting pressure when your dog pulls, mostly often to the back of their neck. Whilst the fit of the collar itself might not be uncomfortable for your dog when standing still, this pressure when walking is most likely very uncomfortable. Aversive tools like this associate an action with an unpleasant consequence to stop this action from happening with your French Bulldog. So the feeling when your French Bulldog pulls has to be uncomfortable enough to prevent the action of pulling in the future. You must note though that the Halti is not designed for constant use on your French Bulldog. It is designed to fit snugly on your dog, however, it only ever is designed to be used during walks. Using head harnesses like this for longer periods can lead to distress and have consequences on your French Bulldog and you by being reported. So it's only a temporary measure. So can a Halti stop your French Bulldog from pulling? Well, the main reason most people want to learn what is a Halti is because they are suffering with a dog that pulls on the leash. Some French Bulldog owners report that their dogs stop pulling when wearing the Halti head harness. However, these dogs won't stop pulling when wearing a normal leash. That is because the Halti doesn't train your dog to heel. It just gives your dog an unpleasant consequence when he does try to pull. So are Halti collars cruel for your French Bulldog? Well, Haltis are associated with pulling and an unpleasant consequence, so they may be slightly uncomfortable and your dog may not enjoy walking with them too much, but they aren't inherently cruel as other punishment-based methods people use and do try on their French Bulldogs. So I would say no, they're not exactly cruel. Leaving a Halti on your dog long-term can be cruel because it's only designed, as I said, for a short period. So leaving it on long-term for your French Bulldog can cause a loss of fur and other injuries. So to conclude, the pros of a Halti collar is that some owners can report that their French Bulldog, does not pull when wearing it, and it isn't necessarily as bad as other punishment methods. Cons: many French Bulldogs display extreme comfort and negative behavioural changes when wearing a Halti. The Halti doesn't stop all French Bulldogs from pulling, and if worn for too long, Haltis can cause rubbing and fur loss. So please, if you do buy one for your French Bulldog, only put it on temporarily and in short periods of time. Please remember that Halti won't stop your dog from pulling when it's wearing another leash or harness.